That sounds like it's good, right? You will say one third.
Yeah, it sounds okay, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're trying to do here.
I'm sure many other people have had terrible experiences with chatbots. My philosophy around it is being able to reach someone.
So let me give you some more context.
See what we did there? Welcome back to another episode on Sanity, which, as the name says, is me interviewing Sanity people on the tools, applications, products they're building using Sanity. Today, I'm joined by Elisa and then Darius. We can wave a little bit to Darius on the screen. And we're going to talk about something that is in service to you all, in service to the community, to our customers. So I bet you can relate to talking to a chatbot. You are going kind of back and forth, you're getting generic answers. You're not really getting anywhere because it's not giving you any straight answers. These people, our support team, Elisa and Darius, have solved this by creating a support chatbot using Sanity Context. And we're going to talk through what they've done, how they've done it, what that looks like today. So Elisa, can you share a little bit about the background, why you decided to move away from kind of the old implementation, and yeah, then we're gonna head to Darius in a second.
Sure, thank you, Alina. So the biggest difference between what we had before and what we have now is that our previous AI tool actually had no idea of who you were. It didn't know your project ID, didn't know your usage, it didn't know anything about you. So the answer that you were getting was just a generic answer. You will be getting the same whether you were in a free plan, a growth plan, or an enterprise plan. And that actually matters a lot because you have to give some answers within certain context. Mm-hmm. So let me give you some more context, pun intended, on where we were.
Yeah.
So when a software customer was reaching out for help in their account, let's say a billing question, a plan change, or anything related to that, they will land on our billing contact page. Mm-hmm. And we had an AI tool there that will answer only one question, one shot. And at that moment, the customer had to decide, okay, is this good enough, or do I actually need to submit this ticket? Do I need to talk to someone, or am I happy with the answer? Now, the problem that we had there is that that's not really a conversation. Mm-hmm. It's only one shot. And on top of that, if you were asking a technical question and that was sent to our team, that it's something that we couldn't help you with, so you will be immediately redirected to the Discord community. So that can be a frustrating experience. Yeah. So before we actually migrated to using this chatbot with Sanity Context, about a third of our customers was actually getting their answer without having to talk to us. So let's say they saw an answer from our previous AI tool and they were happy with whatever they said. That sounds like it's good, right? You will say one third.
Yeah, it sounds okay, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we're trying to do here. Mm-hmm. So according to the standards, by having a conversational AI, this should at least increase to 50%. Okay. Now, we are trying to aim higher than that. On top of that, we were seeing that the questions were very repetitive, right? So what was happening there? We weren't really understanding why we were still getting the same questions reaching out to our team or just on that AI form. So we were wondering, what can we do better here? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we decided to build something ourselves, and that was using Sanity Context. Mm-hmm. It handles both billing and it also handles technical support. And because the users are logged in, the bot actually knows who they are, it knows your usage, your art, your org, your project, everything. And that has such a huge impact on the answer we're getting. In this case, we're actually getting, so the users, like I said before, were getting redirected immediately to the community. Now they're actually getting support first. And after 5 exchanges with the bot, or whenever they ask for a human, they can still get some sort of support. So that's, right. Hopefully improving the experience. Yeah, so our goal, like I said earlier, is that at least half of our customers or more get their answer with the bot without having to reach our team. And the ones that do reach us is because they actually need a human, not because the bot couldn't actually find the answers or because it's just not really having the right context to answer.
Yeah. So you're basically doing this in service of the community, but also in service of your team to be able to handle more tough questions to be able to get more kind of targeted answers whenever.
Yeah, and you still get access to the Discord community if anything, is not solved.
Of course. But it's always good to have the answers immediately if you can. Darius, I think it would be great if you can kind of play both the customer or the community, the asker in question, and then also the helper. So you've probably seen Darius in the community, so he's going to run the show on this, and we're going to show what this looks like from a chat perspective. Darius, take it away.
Sweet. Thanks for handing it over. Hi, everyone. Darius from the support team. You have, like Evelina said, you've likely seen me around the community. But I wanted to give a quick run through of the help page. So right now I am logged in, and so I do have access to an org. I can pick my personal org. I can pick this like test project. And then I can see whatever I have an issue with. So to kind of display the personalization, where it knows I can retrieve from the back end to what plan there is, and other things. We can ask it, how much bandwidth do I have? This is a test project. It's on the free plan. And so it should be able to tell me accordingly, like what plan I'm on, what do I have access to. It'll let me know that I have a hard cap, there's no overages, and then if I do get blocked, what I can do. So it's really nice to be able to have some customization in that aspect. And as well as like being able to include some sources that can help you even further, where you can access the pricing page and dig in a little bit deeper, or dig into your management dashboard to be able to see your current usage and other things like that. So that's kind of a really quick run through of like how the help page works and how it can leverage your current plan, your current org, to give you a better answer.
Yeah, this is a great example of something that is just a quick answer, but that doesn't really require a community or like a community support person to be there to do this, right? Like this is available, so we've made it available obviously through Sanity Context as well. Great. Should we look at something that's a bit meatier? So like, this is a one-off question, right? Which gets answered immediately, but normally when people have questions, it normally is a little bit of a back and forth in terms of like maybe figuring out exactly, getting the exact right answer, because there's more to the topic, let's say.
Yeah. I'll jump over to the studio where all of this gets to live. I can give a quick tour, but first I wanted to show something a little bit more in depth, and including the escalation flow, where you do have a billing question, and you do need some help from the team. I think initially, like Elisa had said, like building this, I've had personally, I'm sure many other people have had terrible experiences with chatbots where it's removing humans. There's no human. You try to type forever. You're on a call and you can't reach anyone. And so I know that my philosophy around it is being able to reach someone. So at any moment you can say, hey, I want to speak to someone. It'll give you a link to the community to be able to access the thousands of developers and even like the Sanity team to be able to leverage that. And then it gives you the after 5 messages. Hey, we've kind of been chatting here. I just want to give you the option. Like, hey, there is someone you can talk to, or we can continue chatting here. And so kind of starting off this chat, just another like how much bandwidth. This was on the Community Plus plan. So it answered accordingly, correctly. Even though it's a not as popular plan. So this is basically a
mirror of what the chatbot is on the customer side of things. So you see this exactly how it's run, basically. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so this case that I wanted to put, like, hey, I deleted project by accident, and the only other admin is on vacation. Like, how can I get access back? And so it's able to give some really good pointers on if there's another admin on the project besides the one that's on vacation, if you have access to a robot token, and then I guess it does recommend like, hey, if you can reach the other admin, that would be great. But if you can't contact them, you have nothing, like you can try these things, but if not, we'll escalate to the support team. And in this case, I was like, yes, please escalate. I don't have anyone. And then it gave me kind of the details. There's a button that you can press in the chat to escalate or submit. and then it can pull in that submission and then let you know someone will follow from the team. And if you're able to reach out to the other org admin remotely, that does remain the fastest path to restoring access, just because, I don't know, in case the team can't get to it right away, you may be able to just have a quick phone call to resolve it. So yeah, this was a more in-depth chat. And yeah, getting to show the escalation flow. But from here, we can, as a support engineer or someone on the billing team, we can like go from here straight into our ticketing system and be able to jump back and forth, have access. So it's really nice. And then we can also rank chats. Like if we blatantly see something like, hey, it didn't do well, we can flag it with these like thumbs up, thumbs down, add notes to it, so that we can solve some like resource gaps if that's the case, or just processes that we could do better.
Amazing. So you're constantly kind of like improving the system as you're going, and you're also, as you're kind of jumping into something, if it needs, you know, a human touch to it, you're also able to quickly know the context already, right? Like you have it there, like it's already kind of in one place. Like I said, it also connects to your own support system and all of that, right? So I think this is very sweet. What does it look like from? I know we have like the chat point of view here. We can go into like, and like I said, rate this chat. You can also add notes, I see. So you can also just be like, okay, this wasn't good. Does that kind of feedback into what the prompt looks for this? Because with Sanity Context, you can kind of configure your config in terms of like what it can access, obviously what like slice of the data set, the tone of voice, all of that. Is that something like you add a note and then kind of the workflow kind of flows into itself, or like what does that look like?
When we add notes and we're kind of, maybe we have like a revisory period in whatever interval we decide, we can go in and update that prompt. There's nothing at the moment that just automatically does it. Maybe that's a nice future feature.
I'm giving you guys feature requests now.
yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Then we can kind of dig through those and hey, we have this block where we want to see what's going on with the chat. Like, are we seeing these bad things, or are we seeing this thing repeat multiple times? And then we can go in and update the prompt where we can maybe the tone is a little bit floaty, and we can update that there. And so I think this is a great tool, and it's so easy to be able to update those things with Sanity Context. And so it's really nice to have that.
And then we have the metrics part as well. So we have metrics, I see there. Like, do you want to just like do a quick tour of what that looks like?
Yeah, super quick tour. As there's not like too much. We've had this public for a bit of time, but not too much like actual motion. But we can see some quick like total sessions, billing rate, approval rate, and then like what activity looks like, but then also being able to leverage like, hey, this is a billing question and I marked it as thumbs down. So we can kind of track and we can see this building. I mean, it would be wonderful if it wasn't, but things aren't perfect. And so it's really nice to have this around and then being able to see session counts, thumbs down chats, and be able to have a centralized place where we can get some insights into what can we do better, what needs to be improved, and then iterate.
With this, you don't actually have to create any code changes when you want to like update and this. So like it's actually all in there. So yeah, we have the chat sessions and then we have the chat settings. So that's where you kind of like, okay, we saw that this wasn't working. You kind of just like add this in, and that is like immediately available, right? So like immediately you are kind of like feeding back to the experience. Yeah.
We have our huge prompt sitting in here where we can dial things in as we go. You don't have to push any code changes. It all just lives here, and we can kind of change things on the fly, and that's super nice. There's also the context kind of dashboard side of things, which is also really nice to play with. But yeah, here's where our prompt lives, and we can do changes on the fly.
Amazing. Well, Elisa, do you want to share a little bit around, I guess, the results so far, what's coming next? Yeah,
Sure.
What you're building, because I know this is obviously an iterative approach, which is, as always, with developing anything.
Yeah, no, thank you, Darius. That was great. I mean, it's very exciting to revisit the build and see it again. So let me tell you where we are and where we're taking it. Mm-hmm. So right now, the bot is actually giving really good answers. We can say sometimes better than before, and that's attributed to the context. Again, like it's telling you things that we couldn't say earlier. In the cases that is not so good is mostly because of the prompt. So it's quite constrained, but that's on purpose. We want to make sure that the answers are accurate, and as we all know, AI can hallucinate. So we prefer to be a little bit more conservative rather than open it up. So that actually means that sometimes it's perhaps a bit too conservative, but that's something like we are iterating, and because it's so simple to update the prompt.
Tweak it.
And we're actually doing like checking real-time conversations. So we're looking at the thumbs up, we're doing all of this work. So we are looking at the answers that have been given and what we actually need to improve the answers. And that actually takes me to the next point of what we're working on. And also, as we know, your bot answers are only as good as your content.
Yes.
So an exercise that we're doing at the same time as looking at the answers to see how good our bot is doing is to actually look at the quality of our content. So sometimes, we just realize that it's not actually that the bot is not good enough, it's just that our content is just not good enough.
Right.
So that's something that we are revamping and looking at it. And yeah, I think internally we're also working on our dashboard. We're keep on adding more iterations. Now we got a new feature request from you.
Exactly,
So-
and now you guys get to get to work.
And yeah, like I said before, we have with our previous AI tool, about a third of our customers was able to answer their questions without reaching out to us, and we are aiming to go beyond that. And we actually think that with all of these changes and the context that we give them is possible. At Sanity, we're always trying to, just keep up with AI, but also innovate and, try to do
Dog
the
food our
best
own
that we
products
can.
as well.
Yeah, a lot of dog fooding, and, what a better way of trying it with Sanity Context. And it was a lot more straightforward. Like, I'm not technical, and I was able actually to connect the MCP context. It was great, and the whole process has been really, really smooth, and I think you have some news on how to use it.
This is a good segue for actually talking about how you can get involved. So one, you should definitely go and check out this at sanity.io/help. I do think you guys should just push it to its limit, ask questions, give us feedback. Darius is in Discord constantly. We have people there, if he's not available because he's sleeping, because that's important too. We have people in Europe as well checking that out. We definitely want people to give us feedback on how this is helping you, if it's not helping you, just so we can keep on improving. And I think you should also try out Sanity Context. Like Elisa said, it's easy to get up and going. We have shipped Sanity Context with the skills, so you can basically scaffold this within 10 minutes. Not this exact thing, but you can scaffold a chat experience yourself, and then you can scaffold and do whatever you want with that. We're all in Discord, so you guys can connect with us there and let us know if there's anything that was unclear, if there's anything what you do want us to deep dive into even more. Amazing. Thank you both.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Darius.